So I think I might actually be live. I'm not sure. I'm doing a bit of reminiscing, so I've come out to East Lothian this morning, been up Traprain Law to try and catch the sunrise, and that wasn't very successful. As you can see, it's a pretty cloudy day. I've been up the Haddington Monument and taken some shots from up there, which might be useful. But I think I'm going to have to treat this as an exploratory kind of trip, finding out about stuff rather than getting some really good pictures and video. Well, I'm now in the little town of Haddington, which is actually growing quite a bit. They're building a lot of modern houses, which is not so nice. I used to live here, bought my first flat here. So this is the waterside little bistro pub place, and the Tyne River, not the Tyne that flows out at Newcastle, but the Tyne that flows through East Lothian and exits into Forth Estuary, I guess, or just into the North Sea. You've got the Abbey here. It really is quite a pretty little town, or the old part of it is. I'm not sure if that little place is still a little coffee house and gallery, little art gallery and coffee house. It used to be just down there with an old croquet lawn in front of it. And I used to love walking along the river here in the summer, particularly in summer evenings. I see the trout jumping and swallows flying, skimming the surface of the water, feeding on insects and even drinking. You can actually catch them drinking water. They just scoop a little bit up into their mouths. Really quite gorgeous. Not quite so nice today, good old Scottish winter. Well, it's not terribly cold. And the wind has died a little bit, not so windy down here. So, yeah, not the most successful of little journeys this morning. I've been up, see, I've got a few people watching, so I've been up Traprain Law, caught the sunrise such as it was, but too much cloud. There was sort of clear skies forecast from kind of 6 and 5 until 7, that sort of time, 5 to 7:30, followed by clouding up. And sunrise was due at just after 8, and I just kind of hoped that maybe, just maybe, the sunrise would be particularly spectacular. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't as good as I'd hoped. Then I went up the Haddington Monument. I got re-familiarised myself with that. You can still definitely get up it. Got to the top, and I took some pictures across and some video. Across towards the bridges, which were a bit hazy, a bit misty. Couldn't really see the hills behind, but I'm hoping some photo enhancement software will just bring out the hills in the background, and we'll still be able to see that. It's a little bit of a better view from the top of the monument, actually, because you're looking more directly up the river, up the estuary, and up the river. So definitely want to go back there on clear day. Well, I thought I'd do a little quick live one to show that I'm actually in the area, and show you guys a rather pretty location that is Haddington in East Lothian. Yeah, I don't think the weather's going to clear up today. There's just, some sort of thinnish cloud. Oops, I'm hitting my ringtone button. There we go. Some thinnish cloud up in the sky, but it's pretty gloomy. It's supposed to get a bit heavier, a bit darker later. And what are these? Some of the mergansers. Some ornithologist-y person, or some kind of grebe or something, I don't know. My bird identification is not as good as it could be. They're quite interesting little birds. I shall have a look and see what they are when I get home. Yeah, so it's really quite nice here. It's a good walk along the river around to, they've got, used to flood Haddington quite badly, and they've got some flood defence systems. So there's a sort of weir around at the other side, and I'm just going to wander around there, and I'm just going to leave this running. I don't know if anybody's remotely interested in the scenery. And I'll witter a little bit about the what we might be able to see up the Forth if I can get a clear day. So Monday's supposed to be good, but I'm working for a large part of the day. If you see a guy called Sandy, punch him in the face for me. I know a guy called Sandy who lives in Haddington, or at least he used to live in Haddington. I think he still does. I haven't seen him for a long time, but I don't think I'll punch him in the face. He's quite a good bloke. Yeah, I've got some better lenses for bird watching, but I'm not. I like watching birds, but I don't like spending too much time peering into a camera or staring at a camera screen. I prefer just kind of watching them. But it's nice to see the nice to see bird life out and about. I try to attract a lot to the garden, but living in a town I find that a bit difficult. Anyway, the trip up to Praying Law this morning was pretty exhausting. Early morning, I pretty tired, and then the sunrise, sorry, was disappointing and far more cloud than I was anticipating. So just a word for those of you who look at weather apps, be careful which one you choose. Several of them are indicating sunny intervals today for this part of Scotland, and none of them are, there's no sign of any sun. And the Met Office one seems to be the most accurate, not surprisingly, I guess. And that's got sort of light cloud and dark cloud, heavy cloud for most of the day, with a bit of a chance of some rain and some showers. So we trip down memory lane for me here. I haven't walked along this path for about 30 years. I'm glad to see it's still here. So if anyone's got any suggestions for observations to make when I do get some clear weather, please feel free to stick something in the comments. I might not catch them live, but we'll see. I might pick them up later. I think that my first port of call will be, Law's just kind of a hill. There's the East Lothian and around Edinburgh. There's a lot of old volcanic plugs. So a volcanic plug is the solidified lava from the central tube of a volcano, and it gets left behind. It's usually much harder rock than the rest of the volcano that's produced from the eruptions, and he gets left behind after the rest of the mountain is eroded away. And there's quite a few of them around East Lothian. So Berwick Law, Traprain Law, the Bass Rock, and I think the places like Edinburgh Castle's built on one. Yeah, anyway, so it's just a kind of hill. It's just a local name for a hill. I don't know if they used to, yeah, I suppose they might have held trials on them or something. It might have something to do with legal things in history, or it might just be a derivation of some Norse word or something. I don't know. I'm speculating now, so I should probably shut up and say something silly. Incoming duck. Yeah, so it's quite pleasing to see that this hasn't changed very much around here. I'm just looking, the sky is a little bit brighter on the horizon there. You never know. If the weather clears up, they might get back up one of the hills. I suspect that I will just be heading home fairly shortly. So, ducklife and mallards and these other guys who have more pointy beaks. Male with a greenish blue head and a female with a brown head, I guess, and different markings. Yeah, my plan was this morning. I went up to Traprain Law to get the sunrise, and I'm going back down to have breakfast sitting waiting for me in the car and a flask of coffee. And it was pretty cold up there, and then to go back up and try and get some shots along the estuary once daylight had really kicked in. And unfortunately, it was just too gloomy and quite windy, so I haven't taken GPS readings up there yet. I was going to, and do all kinds of pictures and stuff to prove where I was. I've got some of the Haddington Monument and Byers Hill. It's pretty difficult to argue with the fact that I was on them, but you know what these guys are like, they still will. So I think that's going to be just about it for me. We're coming around towards where the weir is now, and I'll switch this off and turn around and enjoy the walk back to the car. Have a little look at the weather and see what it's doing, and then take it from there. Unfortunately, my phone charging little bullet that they plug into the cigarette lighter in the car, for some reason that cigarette lighter thing isn't supplying any electrons to actually charge the phone, so I'm going to run out of phone charge fairly soon. Yes, that's right, a level camera would mean that the tower was below centre of frame. Ah, it's still on. When is convenient for me? Well, my life's pretty busy. I work some particularly odd hours, and I'm quite lucky this weekend in that Mrs. Davis is away in Luxembourg, so I was able to get out and play for the day. The weather is the most important thing, Del. This morning, not very clear at all. Very overcast, and too much haze and mist in the distance to see very much. So, random unscientific images. Yeah, is that right? Okay. Well, I've published 15-minute long videos, continuous shots, showing all around the area. I don't know what more you want. You send me a list, I'll see if I can satisfy it. So seeing as there's a bit of chat going on and Dell's on, I might keep this running. People are giving me strange looks as I walk past, but hey ho, such is life. The weir up here is you can carry on, or at least I used to be able to carry on a little bit. I think I'll probably turn around and wander back. This was my summer evening stroll, and the summer really is quite beautiful along here. Ooh, that's new. Yuck. I don't know what it is, just flats or one folks' home or something. Hey ho. Progress, eh? So here we are at the weir, part of the flood defence system. The heron. Bloody hell. How did I miss that? Fantastic. Doesn't seem to be doing much in the way of fishing. Just standing there, maybe wondering if I'm in danger or something. Only to the flat earthers. As long as you believe in the globe, Mr. Heron and Mrs. Heron, you're fine. Are we going to have a soundly power lines? Are they pelicans in the power lines? I can't remember. Moment here. I think it was worth it just to see the heron actually. Pity the phone camera's not a bit better. But so Dell's asking when I'm available. I think I'm doing an interview this evening with Critical Think in Australia. So he's getting up at the crack of dawn, and I'm going to get home and have a glass of wine or a cold beer and have a little interview with him. I might be around after that. I'll be pretty tired. And then I'm available tomorrow as well, but I've got a lot of work to do, so we'll have to see. What do you want? You want me to come on and come onto your channel? Because I posted a comment to the effect that I wasn't really prepared to go on your channel. And I'll only host you on mine if you're going to be a civilized human being. Nice one, Lottie. I have referred to Dell as the Ned in the shed. I'm sure I'm not unique in having done that. I think the bloke is basically alright. He's just got some crazy ideas about the shape of the earth. And I don't mind swearing. I do mind calling people names, but I suppose I called him the Ned in the shed, so Fair's fair. I don't think the heron's going to do anything to entertain me, which is a bit unfortunate. I'm always amazed at how much they just stand absolutely still. I guess it's how they hunt. So I used to get them at home and they'd stand still for hours. I'm glad LK's had a go at, is it Mr. Perspective? It's my perspective who's, my perspective here, he's South African. He's published another video full of deception and lies. I'm amazed that their followers can't see through it. Al's a perfectly decent bloke, I met him. You know, you can't call everyone who disagrees with you, you know, unpleasant names. They just happen to disagree with you. So I'm going to head off for some coffee, and I'll wander back. And seeing as we've got an enormous number of people watching, 65 I think, I shall leave this running and try and read as I'm walking a little bit. I don't think I am that polite, Pee-wee. I have my moments of losing my rag. I have an annoyingly short temper. There we go, just to confirm that it really is the River Tyne in Haddington. Yeah. So yeah, I do lose my temper a little bit. But, life's too short to be angry all the time. I'm just going to have a look. I've never done one of these before, so I want to find out what these buttons do. Okay, nothing very interesting. Ooh, get those off there. That's it. That zoomed in for the oh dear, I switched bubbles on. Oh, crikey. I'm gonna get that to go away. Good. Right. Yeah, I had that zoomed in a bit for the heron, so I'll just zoom it back out. Yeah, so I think the Haddington Monument would be actually a better place to take pictures from. The stairs on the way up are a little bit scary. It's pretty dark and some of them are quite badly worn, and there's no handrail to hold on to. So, but once you're at the top, there's nice level platform up there, and the view up the estuary is a bit better than the view from Traprain Law. Byers Hill's a little bit easier to climb, a shorter climb than Traprain Law as well. So I think we'll be going back to Haddington Monument, and on a day when the weather's good. Also, the angle will be slightly different. I might get a slightly better angle, but it might not be so good for doing Ben Lomond and Ben Nunnaim, because I probably won't be able to get the bridge tower in as a 210 metre reference. It would be nice to be able to, to use them because of the, the extra 1,000 feet or so. And Mad squirrel. Oh. Being chased by a mad dog, that's why. And if you said tree bunny, she'd take off.
Oh, really?
And she actually caught them a couple of times. Yeah. Yeah. Why is Dr. Johnner saying lens? I don't think I can do anything with the lens on this particular camera. However, Del, I haven't cropped a single image that I've posted. So, no, I don't think I have. Certainly, yeah, 99% of them are not cropped, the ones from this observation. The very first one is not cropped, but is rotated very slightly because the camera wasn't quite level and I just wanted to have the bridges level and the screen. But apart from that, no manipulations at all. Is that a little grebe? I think I might have a little grebe. I haven't seen a little grebe for years. I just dived. Where's it coming back up? There it is. Can't get it in shot. Trouble is, there's such a... I've got these... there we go. I've got these comments appearing on the screen, so I can't actually see everything that's in screen. Yeah, so no, I don't crop images, Del. If I do crop an image, I'll say so. I've shown a video, full screen video, where the bridges move around the frame because the camera is moving as I'm adjusting it. Makes no difference to the observation, and anybody with any sense will realise that. There's a tree creeper on the tree. Oh, is that a nuthatch? An amazing... where's it gone now? Oh, it's right at the bottom of that tree. Nuthatches stop. My mum gets them at home, and you don't get them past the Firth of Forth. And I live in Fife, so we don't get nuthatches. They're beautiful little birds. Hey, this is rapidly becoming ornithologist's morning or ornithologist's walk or something. There we go. So people really suggesting that I'm manipulating these photographs to make the mountains lower or higher. Geez, I wish I had the skills to do that. It's an easy one to test, isn't it? You just come here and take the picture yourself. Yeah, how many flat earthers? I mean, when did Soundly do his Lake Pontchartrain stuff? It must have been 2 years ago now. We started that, and I think one flat earther has been there to take pictures in 2 years. You know, and okay, you know, it might be a long way to go. There's not necessarily loads of flat earthers in Louisiana around New Orleans, but there's bound to be some, certainly some in Florida, not that far away. And you think in 2 years they'd have gone there to take the picture themselves. And the same here, we've got flat earthers in Scotland. Get your ass over to East Lothian, find out, you know, yeah, you'll have to wait for a nice sunny day, or a nice clear day. Yeah. Come to Haddington, have a nice lunch, hop up Traprain Law, take a nice picture. It's not a bad way to spend the day. Or you could come early in the morning, take the picture, and go to the Fife, the East Lothian coast, Gullen, somewhere like that. Yeah, nice day out for the family. So I'm sorry if I'm not reading the comments, but I'm going to trip over a tree root or something if I look at the camera too much. Can't tell how my camera battery is doing, and as I said, my car, for some reason, the cigarette lighter things are not supplying any electrons to charge the camera. I don't know if a fuse has gone or something. But hey ho. So I need to decide what to do the rest of the day. It really is looking pretty overcast. I can't imagine that we're going to get clear enough skies to get good views across. I've got the laptop in the car, so I'm going to pop. I think I'll pop the card out of the camera and have a little look at the pictures I've got on a bigger screen. And if there's something useful, then I might go back up the Haddington Monument and try and get a little bit more from there. But otherwise it will be off home and prepare for my little interview today with Critical Think. I don't think it's going to broadcast live. I think he edits them, and he did one with Wolfie a few weeks ago. I think he edits them and then lets me have a look before it gets posted, just to make sure that I haven't said anything I don't want to go public. So I hope I'm not letting the cat out of the bag by telling you that I'm doing it. But I'm a bit surprised that he hasn't found somebody better than me. But I certainly have stirred things up a little bit in the last week or two. So I suppose I'm the name of the moment, if you like. Still get insects in the winter here. I've just eaten one. Yeah, I caught a little bit of a comment there from Dell. I'm not sure if it said he is a photographer or he isn't a photographer. I don't know. I'm not a photographer either. I'm trying to learn a little bit more about it. I want to take some more wildlife observations and some more kind of photographs of the moon. I tried to video an ISS transit and got my shutter speed wrong. I got the transit, but it wasn't very distinct because the shutter speed was wrong. So still learning about that. And the trouble is, every other ISS transit I could have filmed since then has been shocking weather, as we do tend to get in Scotland. And the old abbey up there is quite an interesting building. It used to have some kind of, I think it was a wooden sort of structure on the top of the tower. They've taken the abbey in Linlithgow and they've a long time ago now, they put this sort of modern metal sculpture thing on it. I really got mixed feelings about it. I don't think I like it, but I hope they never do anything like that to this one. I'm not sort of against modern things. There's a lot of modern stuff I really like, but I'm not sure that taking an old building and sticking modern bits on it always works. The museum in Edinburgh is quite good. I like that. I like what they've done with that. Somebody wanted the bridge. I'm not sure if it was that bridge they were referring to. You know, they'll take a still off the a screen capture off the car. The cameras are in the car, so I can't take a better shot. If it was the Forth bridges that you were after a photograph of, your chances of getting a good one today are pretty slim. Spherical 2D. Yeah, that's a good question. The old Ducat and the Abbey. The thing is, we've still got 70 people on, and there still seems to be a bit of chat going. I'll kind of keep this going, I think. I thought I might get 5 people tuning in for 5 seconds, and when they realised it was just me wandering around Haddington, they would they'll log off pretty quick. So this little place here used to be called Peter Potter's, and it was a bit at the back there, the white bit, was a little coffee room and a little art gallery. But it seems to be art framing stuff. I don't know if they still got the coffee shop. Maybe another entrance around the other side and the coffee shop may have gone. It's a pity. I'm just going to wander back into the high street, just have a little look at where my old flat was. And then I really probably ought to go and do something else. So as I say, this is the old part of town. There was a lot of new builds. There was a couple of estates, modern housing estates built, I think in the 60s or 50s. A lot of people moved over here from the west, and but then the place stayed much the same for a long time until the 80s or 90s last century, when they built a load of new houses, and the buildings continued, and then it's become a bit of a sprawling mess. A lot of agriculture around here. Fields have been given over to housing. The old bit's still quite nice. So on the wall just here, the property place, which always used to be an estate agent, got some marks where as I said, it used to get flooded, so flooding to that point, and this one, I don't know if you can read that, a bit close to it, but it says that it was flooded back in I'd have to work out the Roman numerals for that one. There's an old copper plaque. That's where they have the flood defences now that we just looked at. And this is the old sort of town square, an old market town, so this would have been the market square, market cross. And just over the road there is J.S. Main and Son, the Saddlers. They were there when I had the flat here, and my flat was those 4 little windows at the top of that block there. It looks pretty much the same as it did when I had it. It's actually quite a big flat. You know, it's the first flat I ever bought. And I was just about 22 years old. I lived there for a couple of years. While I was a postgraduate student, I used to drive into Edinburgh every day. That's the George Hotel. Yeah. And I'm going to head back to my car now. So thanks for tuning in, folks. I'm going to end this now because I want to keep some battery in case I need the phone later. In the emergency or whatever. So thanks for tuning in. And now I've got to work out how the heck I switch this